Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video on Gems of War, and it's a new week, so we have a new event, we have new troops in the Soulforge, and a new weekly troop in the shop. So I'm going to be going over what the Soulforge has to offer this week, and then I'm going to look at the event. We're at a Tower of Doom event again, and I believe the color is green, and I will be going over a team that I'm going to be using in the beginning to get through that event. So let's get right into it. So here, let's go to the Soulforge first, and let's start at the weapons that are here to craft. So you can craft the event weapon in here for 800 diamonds, but I don't recommend doing that if you got the gems. Gems are easier to get than diamonds, and you want to use your diamonds for mythic troops. So I would say get this in the event shop for gems. Now, the hook sword is pretty much just one of these weapons where it's based on how many allies of a certain kingdom you have in your team, and then it'll generate that the mana that it says here. These weapons aren't fantastic. There's a couple of them that are decent, but generally these aren't super great, mainly because the mana that it generates is based on the allies in your team of that kingdom or that troop type, and once your troops start to die, the ability for your weapon to generate mana goes down each troop that you lose. So just keep that in mind if you do get these weapons. And we don't really have anything else here except for Sky Hero, which is probably the one to get if you're going to craft any weapon in here that you don't have. I would say Sky Hero is much better than Hook Sword, because it's not based on a type of troop or kingdom troops. What this weapon does, it will destroy a column, which is already good because it's generating some mana through destroying a column. But then it says for every yellow gem destroyed, it will create 4 red gems, and the boost ratio is 4. So you're looking at quite a bit of red mana that can be created with this. So let's say if you destroy 4 yellow gems in a column, it's 4 times 4, and that's 16. You'll be creating 16 red gems. And it has a pretty low mana cost of only 13. Double color, yellow and blue, so it should be pretty easy to get that full. And as long as you've got yellow on the board, you should be able to generate quite a bit of red mana with this weapon. So I would recommend getting this one if you don't have it and you are looking to collect some pretty good weapons. Alright, let's look at troops, bypassing all of the common troops, legendary troops. For mythic troops this week, I would say the best one here is the Grey King. If you do not have the Grey King yet, and you already have some of the other great mythics in the game, I would say get this one because it is a mana generator, and it also does true damage, mana drains, silences, and it freezes. Yeah, I mean, this is a great troop. If you have this troop with something like Mountain Crusher, it just will dominate the game, because Mountain Crusher is going to generate a lot of brown mana, and this troop takes brown mana. So it'll fill up pretty quickly, and then it will also generate mana. So typically, really quick, mythic troops that I find to be the best are the ones that are able to generate mana for themselves, as well as doing damage. So there are some strong mythics that don't generate mana for themselves, but if you think about it, some of the ones that are really good, like Infernus or Obsidious, they generate mana for themselves while they're also doing a lot of damage. And then what's even better is that if it has something beyond the damage and the mana generation, which this one does, mana drain is great, silence is great, and frozen is really great as well. So the Grey King, one of my favorite mythics, definitely worth it. It's the best one here. Stonehammer is good in certain situations, but it doesn't really do any damage. And yeah, these two not really that great. The Great King is where it's at right now this week. Alright, let's go take a look at the recent troop here in the shop. The new weekly one. Tulio. I don't know if I pronounced the name right, but that's what it looks like to me. Let's see what it does. Okay. Choose a color, enchant all allies of that color, and give 6 mana to them, boosted by gems of that color. Boost ratio is a 4 to 1. Very interesting, and it has a pretty low mana cost. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any, like, 50% starting mana or anything like that, but it is a pretty low mana cost at 13. And that is pretty fantastic. Choose a color, enchant all allies of that color, and give them 6 mana. And it's boosted, so it could be even more mana than that. This is actually a pretty useful troop here for weeklies. Oops, I don't want that many of them. Jeez. How much glory would that even cost me? 80,000 glory to get 200 of these. I don't even know why I would do that. All you needed is Mythic. So for sending it to Mythic, I need only 16 troops. That gives me 80,000 gold, 32,000 arcane stones. We'll go ahead and purchase that. And we'll go ahead and purchase our spoils of war. Collect our tribute here. Okay, so let's check out the current event kingdom. It is Shentang troops. So if you do not have any of the legendaries or mythics of this kingdom and you want to try to get them, right now, event keys this whole week, you're going to have a chance to get those. If we go to troops here and let's select the kingdom, Shentang, there it is. We'll do show all and let's do base rarity. Okay, so you're looking at, this is the mythic troop for Shentang, which isn't the greatest mythic, but it's not the worst one also. Emperor Liang is really good, mana generation and support troop. Keelan, awesome, great skull troop here, especially with Queen Ishbala. And then, of course, you have this legendary here that's really fantastic, Yao. So, yeah, I would say if you don't have Keelan or Yao yet, these two, then now would be a good time to open some event keys, because those are good legendary cards to have. So, let me check real quick here on your chances. So you have a 0.11% chance of getting mythics. Legendary chance is actually pretty good, and it's specific to this kingdom. So you have a 3.2% chance of getting one of those legendary troops from opening your event keys here this week. And if we go and we look at like glory keys, you only have 0.5% of getting a legendary. Gem keys, you have 2% chance. So you actually have really good chance. Well, I shouldn't say really good, but you have a much better chance of getting a legendary troop from your event keys. And if you're looking for a few of those specifically from Shentang this week, then now's the time to use your event keys for that. Alright, we can get out of all that. Let's go and take a look at the Tower of Doom event. So it is green color this week, and I already kind of have a team in mind for at least 3 troops that I'm planning to use for this, at least to start out. I think it has the potential to get me all the way to the top, or not all the way to the top, but, you know, really high, like level 30, 40, somewhere up there. Let's go to the shop here, and the weapon is up here, so you're going to have to spend 500 gems to get the weapon. And these Doom weapons, I think this might be the last or one of the last ones of this variety. I'm not really a fan of these. I think they're the weakest of the Doom weapons because the low scatter damage. It's really low because it doesn't have a very high multiplier here. Even if you get the tempering level up to maximum, you're still only going to do relatively low scatter damage. And then this here, create a mix of 6 green gems and skulls for every green enemy. Like, there's no way that you can really, you know, strategize around that because you don't know what the enemy's going to use. Like, unless you're in Guild Wars and you use this weapon against an all-green team, then, you know, you can make it a little better. But other than that, like, if you're using it in PvP or pretty much any other game mode, it's hard to predict when the enemy's going to have green troops. So anyway, we won't be using that weapon. We'll be using something else. So let's go ahead and purchase it because we need to. I don't really care about the weapon so much, but we're going for the Doom Sigils here because that's what we're going to be using to go up in the event. Alright, and that's usually about as high as I go for at the start. And then once I use up all my sigils, because I have 18 and that's quite a bit, once I run out of those, then I'll see if it's worth it to purchase more here. But yeah. Alright, let's take a look at the team that we're going to be using. And it has to be all green troops being used except for the weapon. So I'm going to use one of my favorite weapons and troop combinations, which is Shield of Urskaya. And as far as troops, we're going to go ahead and Rowanne, Leprechaun, and then for the last troop here, it could really be anything, but probably something that has support, mana generation, anything like that. Like we could put in Queen Aurora just to get that extra mana. But really anything at this point. You could put the Possessed King for extra explosions. Wild Queen might be good if you have it. Otherwise, really any troop in there that's green is gonna be okay. Because really the main damage that that's gonna be going on here is Rowanne. So we're gonna use the Shield of Urskaya to give Rowanne armor, and once Rowanne is up, its damage is going to be boosted by its armor. We're going to use Leprechaun that starts at full mana for quick mana generation. And yeah, so the great thing about the Shield of Urskaya is the Enrage and Barrier, and you can really use it with any class, but I do recommend using a class that's going to give you that rock solid. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the Plague Lord. Now let's pick our banner. We do want something that is brown as well as Rowanne here. We could do something like double brown blue or double green brown. We could do that. Yeah, let's go with double green brown. And we can always change it later once we get up higher. Right now, the battles are going to be really easy. But yeah, this is a good starting team. And Rowanne has the potential to do a lot of damage with the shield combination here. So it's going to be easy. Oh yeah, and the other thing too, let me go back and change this because Rowanne's damage is based on armor. So instead of having, I got three of the Metal of Cedric right now, we're going to go ahead and change it to 3 of the Metal of Guard, because that will give us 3 times 8 armor on all of our troops. If we go back to the event and go to the next one here, now the armor on Rowanne will be over 20 more than it was before, which is going to increase his damage by a lot. So it'll do, right now it's going to do a total of 160 damage plus 25. So we're looking at 185 damage to everything here. It's going to be easy for the first few levels. Yeah, that was the boss room right there on purple. Yeah, so that's pretty much my team, guys. I don't think I need to go any further here in the recording. It's already at 15 minutes. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what I'm doing here to start off the event and team that I'm starting with. So, yeah, hope that helps you guys out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, as always. If you liked it, please, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.